The sky above the nation's capital turned into a scene of unimaginable horror on the evening of January 29, 2025. What began as a serene and picturesque dusk quickly transformed into a nightmare that would forever be etched in the memories of those who witnessed it. As dusk settled over Washington, D.C., a routine flight approaching Reagan National Airport and a U.S. Army helicopter on a training mission collided in a fiery embrace over the icy waters of the Potomac River. The collision was sudden and catastrophic, leaving no time for evasive maneuvers or distress signals. The fiery explosion lit up the evening sky, casting a haunting glow over the city. The tragic Midair collision, claiming the lives of all 70 souls aboard both aircraft, sent shockwaves across the country, leaving a nation grappling with grief and searching for answers. The wreckage, scattered across the icy waters, became a somber reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictability of fate. Rescue workers braved the freezing temperatures, tirelessly searching for any signs of life, but their efforts were in vain. This catastrophic event has not only shattered the lives of the victims' families, but also exposed potential vulnerabilities in our aviation system. Families gathered at memorial sites, clutching onto memories of their loved ones, while investigators began the painstaking process of recovering wreckage and piecing together the sequence of events. The aviation system, once a symbol of technological prowess and safety, now faced scrutiny and doubt. The incident has raised urgent questions about air traffic control protocols, communication procedures, and the ever-present challenges of maintaining safety in increasingly congested airspace. Air traffic controllers, who work tirelessly to ensure the safety of countless flights each day, now found themselves at the center of an intense investigation. The crowded airspace, a testament to the growing demand for air travel, highlighted the need for improved safety measures and technological advancements. As investigators work tirelessly to piece together the events that led to this tragedy, the nation mourns the loss of life and awaits answers. Candlelight vigils were held across the country, with communities coming together to honor the victims and support their grieving families. The somber crowd at memorial services reflected the collective sorrow and resilience of a nation determined to find answers and prevent such a tragedy from happening again. The investigation continues, with every piece of evidence bringing us closer to understanding the full scope of this heartbreaking event. It was a Wednesday evening, the sky painted with the hues of a fading sunset. American Airlines Flight 5342, operated by PSA Airlines, a Bombardier CRJ-700, was on its final approach to runway 33 at Reagan National Airport. The flight, originating from Charlotte Douglas International Airport, carried 64 passengers and 4 crew members, all eager to reach their destinations. Meanwhile, a U.S. Army Sikorsky H-60 Blackhawk helicopter with 3 soldiers on board was conducting a routine training mission along the designated corridor above the Potomac River. The helicopter crew, tasked with a routine exercise, was no stranger to the airspace surrounding the nation's capital. As the plane and the helicopter converged on their respective flight paths, a catastrophic chain of events unfolded, leaving no time for reaction or escape. The collision occurred at approximately 8:48 p.m. Eastern Time, its impact echoing across the city and beyond. The Bombardier CRJ-700, just moments from touchdown, and the Sikorsky H-60 Blackhawk helicopter engaged in its training exercise collided with a deafening roar. The impact, witnessed by horrified onlookers on the ground, sent a shudder through the surrounding area. Wreckage, a grim testament to the catastrophic event, rained down upon the Potomac River's icy surface. The collision, as sudden and violent as it was, left no chance of survival. The force of the impact shattered both aircraft, scattering debris across a wide area. The chilling scene, illuminated by emergency lights, became a grim reminder of the fragility of life and the unforgiving nature of such accidents. The immediate aftermath was one of chaos and disbelief. Emergency responders, alerted by a flurry of distress calls, rushed to the crash site, their efforts hampered by the darkness, the frigid waters, and the sheer scale of the disaster. Section 4. A race against time recovery efforts. As dawn broke on January 30th, the devastating reality of the previous night's events set in. The serene morning light contrasted sharply with the chaos and destruction left in the wake of the Midair collision. The Potomac River, usually a symbol of tranquility, now bore the scars of a tragic accident that had claimed many lives. The nation awoke to the news of the Midair collision, the images of the wreckage strewn across the Potomac River serving as a stark reminder of the tragedy. News outlets across the country broadcasted the grim details, and people everywhere were glued to their screens trying to make sense of the catastrophe that had unfolded. Recovery efforts, a somber and challenging task, began immediately. Rescue teams comprised of local authorities, emergency personnel and volunteers converged on the crash site. Their mission was clear but daunting: to find and recover any survivors and to begin the grim task of retrieving the bodies of those who had perished. Divers braved the icy waters, meticulously searching for victims and collecting debris. The frigid temperatures and strong currents made their work incredibly difficult, but they pressed on with determination and resolve. Each piece of debris they recovered was a potential clue, a fragment of the story that needed to be pieced together. The recovery of the black boxes, crucial to understanding the events leading to the crash, became a top priority. These devices, designed to withstand extreme conditions, held the key to unraveling the mystery of what had gone wrong. Divers worked tirelessly to locate and retrieve them from the depths of the river. These flight data recorders, often referred to as the silent witnesses, hold vital information about the aircraft's performance and the pilot's actions in the final moments of the flight. Technicians and investigators pored over the data, hoping to find answers that could prevent such a tragedy from happening again. As of January 31st, 41 sets of remains had been recovered, a heartbreaking testament to the human cost of this tragedy. Each recovery was a somber reminder of the lives lost and the families left behind to grieve. The scene was one of profound sorrow as rescue workers handled the remains with the utmost respect and care. The painstaking process of identifying the victims began, adding another layer of sorrow to an already devastating situation. Forensic teams worked meticulously, cataloging victims' belongings and using every available resource to provide answers to the grieving families. The emotional toll on everyone involved was immense, but the commitment to bringing closure to the victims' loved ones was unwavering. Section 5. Unraveling the Truth. The investigation begins. The National Transportation Safety Board, the agency responsible for investigating civil transportation accidents, launched a full-scale investigation into the cause of the collision. This marked the beginning of a meticulous and exhaustive process, one that would involve numerous experts from various fields. The NTSB's primary goal was to uncover the truth behind the tragic event, ensuring that every possible angle was examined and no stone left unturned. The investigation, a complex and multifaceted endeavor, aimed to determine the sequence of events that led to this catastrophic incident. The team of investigators worked tirelessly, sifting through the wreckage and gathering crucial evidence. Each piece of debris, no matter how small, could potentially hold the key to understanding what went wrong. Investigators, utilizing data from the recovered black boxes, radar records, and air traffic control communications, began the painstaking process of reconstructing the final moments of both aircraft. The black boxes, which record flight data and cockpit conversations, were particularly invaluable, providing insights into the pilot's actions and the aircraft's performance in the moments leading up to the crash. The investigation focused on several key areas, including human error, were the pilot's actions or inactions a contributing factor in the collision. To answer this, investigators conducted detailed interviews with surviving crew members and used flight simulators to recreate the conditions of the flight. They scrutinized the pilot's training records, health, and any potential distractions or stresses that could have impacted their performance. Mechanical failure. Did a malfunction in either aircraft contribute to the incident? The team meticulously inspected the aircraft's components, from the engines to the smallest mechanical parts. Maintenance records were reviewed to identify any previous issues or repairs that might have been overlooked. The goal was to determine if a technical fault could have played a role in the crash. Environmental factors. Did weather conditions such as wind or visibility play a role in the crash? The team analyzed weather data from the time of the incident, including radar images and reports from nearby weather stations. They considered how factors like turbulence, storms, or low visibility might have affected the pilot's ability to control the aircraft. Air traffic control procedures. Were there any lapses in communication or protocol that contributed to the collision? Investigators reviewed communication logs and radar data to assess the actions of air traffic controllers. They examined whether proper procedures were followed and if any miscommunications or errors in judgment occurred that could have led to the tragic event. The NTSB, known for its thorough and meticulous approach, aimed to provide a comprehensive report identifying the probable cause of the crash and offering recommendations to prevent similar tragedies in the future. This report would be the culmination of countless hours of investigation, analysis, and collaboration among experts. It would serve not only as a record of what happened, but also as a guide to improving aviation safety and preventing future accidents.